Here we go. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we about. If you don't know, and I guarantee you, within the next 60 minutes, you will know. You will be completely informed. There will be no questions. There will be no doubt remaining at the end of this 60 minutes, guaranteed to everybody who was in here. Y'all might not know what the topic is yet, but I'm about to post it right here. If you've been following my story at all today, then you already know what the topic is. Someone asked me this question today in the comment section on IG, and I said I'm gonna do it. And I'm going to wait till everybody come in here. I'm going to tell you how this topic came about. Then we're going to get into the topic. And then I'm going to do what I do. But I've been doing every single day here for a long time. Some of it on Instagram, a lot of it in a lot of other places. But we're doing it right now. So as y'all coming in, tell me your name and location in the comment section. We're going to get started in just a moment. If you're watching this on Facebook, y'all can hit that share button no matter when you're watching this. I don't care if you're watching this 15 years after I put it out. Make sure you hit that share button. If you're watching this on Instagram right now, you can hit the comment button, tell me your name and location in the comment section. Facebook, you can tell me your name and location in the comment section. We're getting started in just a minute. Adrian from Germany, you got the first comment. Congratulations to you. Let me see who asked this question so I know who that was. Let's see. Immortal J23 is the person who asked this question. So I don't know if he's even in here, but he better watch the replay because I'm doing this topic based on the question I was asked earlier today. So as y'all coming in, tell me your name and location, comment section. We're getting started in a minute. We got Killian checking in from Romania. So we are international. Shout out to everybody in Romania. Shout out to Germany. BG checking in from Atlanta. Shout out to Atlanta. As y'all come in, tell me your name and location in the comment section. We're getting started in just a minute. I'm going to give like maybe 30 seconds for some more people to come in, and then we getting started because y'all know what the saying is. To be early is on time is late is forgotten. The topic here today, y'all see it, how to make a living online. You want to make a living online, you want to make money on the internet. Today I'm going to tell you some things that you need to know. I'm going to tell you some things that you need to do. I'm going to tell you some things that you need to understand. I'm going to clarify some things that maybe you thought you knew or maybe somebody told you that might not be as accurate as you thought they were. Swan checking in from Paris. So listen, we got Europe all over here. So shout out to Europe. We got Paris, that's France. We got Germany. What was the other one? Romania. We got Ray from Del Rey. So we are all over the world right now. As y'all can see, we got Atlanta in here. I'm in Miami. I'm at Work on Your Game University. So let's get into the topic. We ain't going to take too much more time here. For those of y'all who don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I am a former 9-year professional basketball player, international. Played 9 years professional basketball overseas. I'm an author of 25 books. Book number 26 is almost done. The only thing I got left to do is I need to set up one more email that's going to go out to people who already know who I am. And that's going to be out. So we got Maine in the house as well. And the book will be ready. I'll be talking about it tomorrow. But the book is not for everybody. I'm going to tell y'all right now. It's a niche book. It's only for a certain audience. But don't worry. The next book might be for you if this one isn't. I'm author of 25 books. I'm the creator of this whole Work on Your Game philosophy. I've done 4 TED Talks on mindset, discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, and career. I have a podcast that comes out every day. Has over 1,500 episodes now. I publish over 7,000 YouTube videos, 7,000 articles. I've created more online content than any human being that you can name. There is no one you can name who has created more content than me. Zach Crowbita said, been around from the jump. Appreciate you. And today's topic, I'm an author, as I said, entrepreneur, athlete, coach, consultant, speaker. I do a whole lot of things. I ain't going to tell you everything that I do because we ain't got time for all that. But today's topic comes from a comment that I received on Instagram today from a person named Immortal J23. I don't know if he's even in here, but I'm doing this topic based on his question. Jordan checking in from Houston. What's good? The question that he asked was, what he said? Let me make sure I got exactly what he's, can you do a live about tips on how to make a living online? That was his question. And I said, sure, I'm going to do it because I want to show y'all that it's real. The things that I do is not like I'll get to plan everything out, then I come on here and it sounds great. You can give me a topic off the top and I will kill that topic and give you absolute value like that. Not because I'm just this genius, but because I've been putting in this work and doing this for 15 years on the internet. That's how I got good at it. It's not because I just rolled out of bed and the words just spill out of me. There's work and time that's put into this and this expertise that I'm giving you right now. So make sure you're taking notes or you rewind this or you record it or whatever you got to do to make sure you can retain everything I'm going to say here today, because I guarantee you will not remember everything that I say. But the topic, once again, is how to make a living online. Somebody asked me this today again in the comment section, and I'm going to tell you how to actually do this. So giving you my background, I gave you a little bit already, but just to tell y'all a little bit more about me when it comes to business. I started creating content in 2005. So this was like a year after I finished school. It was before I signed my first deal overseas. I started blogging in May. It was actually this month, 15 years ago, I started blogging. At the time, I was working at Bally Total Fitness. I was trying to get myself a job overseas. It was right before I went to my first exposure camp. Went to the exposure camp a month after that, killed the exposure camp, got the video from that exposure camp. That got me an agent. That agent helped me get a deal. I signed my first contract August 2005. And I got the video from that camp in like July. And that video footage became my first YouTube video. So on YouTube, I put out all these basketball videos. Some of y'all know me from that. From the basketball videos, about 5 years into my playing career, I wasn't staying steadily employed as a pro basketball player. So I wondered, how could I have some control over my career? So I decided, how about I take this content, because I was making all these videos on YouTube, and players would ask me like for programs and for help and for tips and for training. And I said, all right, I don't want to be a personal trainer, but since I'm on the internet and I do have these basketball skills, how can I turn this into money? So I started making programs. And there was a guy named Tim Ferriss who wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. That was the only book he had at the time. And he had some stuff about how to start a business online and how you can test out your product and make sure there's a market for it. So I followed what Tim said, started selling products online, $5 PDF hoop handbook programs. I was selling these in 2010, 10 years ago. And that's how I became an entrepreneur while I was still hooping. And the great thing about that was that it gave me the power and the freedom to do what I wanted to do. So just in case I couldn't get another job playing ball, which was not always easy, I could still make money and do my thing. So then in 2015, when I stopped hooping, I was already moving forward as an entrepreneur. So I didn't have this period after I stopped playing sports where I was wondering, what am I going to do with my life? I already knew exactly what I was going to do because I had this background already being an entrepreneur. I've been doing it for 5 years while I was still hooping. So I was doing both for a 5-year period. Now for the last 5 years, all I've been doing is entrepreneurship, not playing basketball. So all that being said, I want to give you all a disclaimer as to what I'm going to talk about here today. And Facebook, if you're watching this, hit that share button for me, please. Or you can leave a comment and tell me your name and location, or you can do both. Instagram, same thing. And give y'all a disclaimer that what I'm about to share here today, the topic being how to make a living online, this is just one way to make a living online. There are 1,000 different ways to make a living online. What I'm going to talk about is, of course, how I did it, and I'm going to give you all the principles of what I did and what I do that you can apply right now, or at least over time, to start making money online. But I'm not going to talk about things that I don't know like that. I'm not going to talk about being a day trader on the internet, which is that is technically making money online, but I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to talk about that. I could talk about selling cars online. I don't do that. I could talk about selling real estate online. I don't do that. So I could talk about being a school teacher on the internet. I don't do those things. So I'm going to talk about my way of making money on the internet. Okay, so to understand that what I'm about to tell you here today is one way to do it, and this is a way that is available to everyone if you can apply yourself and actually use what I'm going to share. But this is not the only way to make money on the internet. Everybody got that. So I don't want nobody getting mad at me saying, well, Dre, you said this, and there's a million ways to make money on the internet. You got to talk to the people who know that specific area. So the area that I'm talking about is what I know. If you talk to somebody who sells cars on the internet, they're going to tell you what they know. So there will be some similarities and there will be some things that are different. That's because we're doing different things, okay? So you can make money investing, drop shipping, selling Amazon products, designing websites. These are all ways to make money on the internet. I'm going to talk about how to do it through thought leadership. It does not mean you got to give a whole bunch of speeches or be famous or be in a magazine. Doesn't mean you got to do all those things. I'm going to explain exactly how to do it, but I got a good amount of info to share here today, so let's get right into it. Point number one, the topic again is how to make money on the internet, how to make money online, how to make a living online. Like you want to make a full-time income just doing your thing on the internet. Here's the first thing you need to understand, okay? And for those of you who don't know me, you're going to understand where I come from and my whole philosophy. That my philosophy is called work on your game. I didn't even say that. It's about taking that 1% mindset of being a pro athlete and how to apply it to your business, your life, and to your sport. And the first thing you need to understand about making a living on the internet is that it is still a job. Making money on the internet is not a walk in the park. It is not a joyride. It is not all fun and games. It is not just posting stuff on Instagram and getting likes and follows and responding to comments. That is not the entirety of making money on the internet. You want to make a living online, it is a job. Now, as a business, you're technically not employed by anybody. You don't have a boss, or you might not, but it's still a job. What did I talk about in yesterday's live? If you caught it, if you missed it, I'll tell you. Yesterday's live's topic was why the job is still a job. Because a lot of people think that if you get certain jobs that the grass may be so green that it's just so fun and it's so easy and there's no work involved. Like you might think being a rapper or being a model or being an Instagrammer or being an author or being an athlete is just so easy because everything that you see those people doing seems like they're always just relaxing and chilling and having fun, or even when they're working it seems easy and fun. Understand that it is a job and there are times that you're not going to feel like doing it, and there's a grind to any profession. Any profession you get in, there will be a grind. Any profession you get in, there are going to be days you don't feel like doing it. Any profession you get involved in, there are going to be stuff that you don't want to do that you have to do if you want to succeed and excel and keep progressing in that job. If you want to make a living on the internet, you still have a job. What do I mean by that? Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean there's no work. All right, you still got to show up to work every single day. Me, I don't have a boss. I don't have a time clock. Nobody is holding me accountable to a schedule. But every single day, you ask my girl, she's listening to me talk right now, she knows every single day what time I start working. She knows what time I stop working. And she knows in between those two times, I'm working. All right, in between those two times is not, no, let me go to the mall, or let me hang out, or let me go for a bike ride, or let me go sit in the park and listen to the birds chirp. It's, I'm working. So even though it's the internet, you still have to work. It's still work, just like if you worked at Pizza Hut and there's a boss and you don't show up, the manager's like, yo, where the hell you at? All right, you still got to show up and do your job every single day. The internet does not make it sweet. All right, from where I come from, that's what we say. If we think something is easy and there's no effort involved, or it's sweet, or that's a sweet job. This is not a sweet job, okay? This ain't no sweet walk. You're in competition with everybody else on the internet, which is literally everybody else in the world. So the hardest part of this whole thing is being your own boss. The fact that you have to hold yourself accountable, unless you're working for somebody else's company and you got a boss. But if you're going to do your own thing, you're going to be an author, you're going to be an influencer, you want to be whatever else you want to call it, an Instagram model, you got to hold yourself accountable. Meaning, if your audience is expecting you to post 3 times a day, you got to come up with 3 good posts every single day. Because if your posts start getting weak, that audience goes away and so does your money. All right, if you want to be an author and you're going to put out a book every 6 months, all right, you got to be writing books every day. If you're going to be a whatever that job entails, you got to be doing that every day. And there's nobody who's going to call you and be like, yo, did you do what you were supposed to do? Yo, did you do that? Did you do the next thing? Are you following the program? Are you up on that next thing you're supposed to do? Did you fix that? There's nobody calling you and checking on you. So if you are not capable of holding yourself accountable, you are not qualified to have this job. I'm saying this off the top. And any of you who've been following my lives or any of my content over the years, you know that I'm not going to start off with the normal thing. Because you might think, because the topic is how to make a living online, I'm going to start talking about, all right, here's how you sell this, and here's how you get this money, and here's how you get the PayPal payment. No. The baseline is you got to understand that this is a job. All right, the money don't just, it ain't like you say, oh, I'm making a living online, all of a sudden money's just falling out the sky. You got to do the work. You got to lay the foundation. The foundation is the very first principle to work on your game philosophy. I covered it in this book right here. If you don't have this book, you go get it. The first principle of this philosophy is discipline. Showing up every single day and doing the work. Very first chapter in the book, cardio for the mind. What's cardio? Cardio is the exercise that you do so that your heart is strong, so that you can keep doing your thing over and over again, even when you get tired. Even when you get fatigued, keep going. Cardio for the mind. Very first chapter in the book, just so y'all know that I'm not just making this up. I'm not just saying this to impress you. I'm saying it to impress upon you. This is the game. All right, I would show you the first chapter, but I got an introduction here. Here you go. Chapter 1, cardio for the mind, right there. So y'all know I ain't lying. This is the first step in the work on your game philosophy. So understand this is a job, people. You want to make a living online? Now, the reason I'm putting so much time into this first point is because I want everybody who's not serious, I want to scare all y'all off. Okay? Anybody who wants to make money online, you wanted to make money online this morning, I want you to go to bed thinking maybe you don't. Yes, you hear what I'm saying right now. Anyone who woke up this morning thinking you want to make a living online, I want you to maybe be second guessing that decision. Maybe thinking that maybe I don't want to make money online, because Dre made this sound like there's some actual work that's involved. And that's exactly how it's supposed to sound, because that's the truth. There's work involved. This is a business. Any of you know somebody who owns a business? All right, ask them how many days off they get, or at least when they started their business, how much time off did they get? Ask them how many hours they were working. Ask them how easy it was. They'll tell you. So don't just take my word for it. Anything I ever tell you on these lives, you go verify it with somebody you know and trust who has knowledge in the same areas that I'm talking about. They will verify everything that I'm saying. If anything, they'll actually start watching, because they know I got some things that can help them too. This is the hardest part of the whole thing. All right, everything I'm talking about right now, And anybody who has a question or comment, I will address all of them at the end, all right? This is the hardest part of the job about being an online entrepreneur, any kind of entrepreneur, especially if you're starting off by yourself, you don't have a business partner, a boss, nothing, it's just you. The hardest part is that you have to do everything yourself, especially when you're on the internet. It's hard because you have so many distractions online. I mean, I'm gonna open my phone right now. I got the Gmail app, text message app, the Google Drive app, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Facebook Studio, Facebook pages, WhatsApp, Snapchat. All of these are distractions. Every one of these is a possible distraction. So if you're going to work on the internet, you got all of these distractions. And any of y'all who got notifications on your phone, I only get one what I get notifications for? I get notifications for Slack. That's when my staff can reach me. Text messages, phone calls. That's it. I don't get notifications for nothing else. If you send me an email, I don't get a notification. If somebody tweets me, nothing. I get Instagram, somebody comments on Instagram, no notification. You need to turn those notifications off because all they are distractions pulling you away from what you're supposed to be doing, which is doing your damn job. So if you don't have the discipline to do this job, even though you got all those apps asking for your attention all day, this is not the job for you. You need to go somewhere else. You need to go in a different direction. It is not for you. Everybody understand that? Now that we got that done, and I've scared off all the dabblers, all the people who thought this was going to be a sweet ride. Now let's move into point number 2. Today's topic, for those who came in the middle of this, is how to make a living online. You want to make money online. Now you know the hard part about it. Now let's get into some more hard stuff about it. Point number 2, the online space is a huge, vast ocean. All right, any of y'all ever been in a plane and traveled overseas across the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean or the Indian Ocean, or what's the other ocean, the Arctic Ocean, whatever, any big body of water? All right, the internet space is just as big as that body of water. It's huge. And you know, when you have that much water, there's a whole lot of fish in that water. You got whales, you got dolphins, you got any kind of fish you can name. You got all kinds of stuff floating around in that ocean, swimming in that ocean, and fighting for space. And what does that matter to you? Let me tell you why that matters. You got to figure out where you're going to swim. If you're going to get into this ocean with all of these people, you want to be an author, and what you want to write about? You want to write about mindset? You know how many people out there are talking about mindset? And you want to talk about basketball? You want to be a basketball trainer? You know how many basketball trainers there are just on Instagram alone, just on YouTube alone? You want to talk about, what you want to talk about? Name a topic. There's a million people already talking about that topic. Where are you going to swim that you'll be able to stand out and actually get some food? All right, when some food lands in the ocean, how are you going to eat when there's 1,000 other fish all trying to get that same piece of food? That's a question that you need to answer. Not answer to me, but you got to answer to you. Where are you going to carve out your space on the internet so that somebody who needs what you're offering actually can find out that you exist and get what you're offering and then be willing to pay for it? Not only do they got to know about you, then they got to listen to you. That's the second thing. Then they got to buy from you. Now, that's 3 things you got to do. You got to get their attention, which is hard enough. Then you got to get them to listen to you, which is hard enough. Because all these notifications, look, as soon as they start listening to you, they're going to get a notification that somebody just commented on their Facebook status update, and they might stop listening. Now you got to keep their attention. Then you got to sell them something. Now you got to get them to open their wallet and give you their money. All right, that's a lot of work. And so if anybody else who want to be scared off now, I'm going to scare off everybody by the end of this. All right, anybody who's not serious will know that this is not for them by the time I'm done today. That's my goal. All right, my goal is not to make all of you think you can do this, because everybody ain't supposed to be doing this. I'm going to tell y'all the real. Somebody else might tell you, y'all can help you make $500,000 in 6 weeks. I'm going to tell you the real so that you don't get BS'd and waste your time or anybody else's time trying to get into something where you don't belong. So the question is, where are you going to swim? So here's some questions you got to answer. I'm going to tell you 3 questions you must answer you want to make a living online. Now, you must answer these 3 questions. Number 1, who do you want to help? It's the first question. Who do you want to help? You got to know who you're targeting. Number 2, how do you want to help them? So you know you want to help. What are you going to do for them? What can you do for me? If I'm the person that you want to help, how you going to help me? What you going to help me do? What's my problem that you're going to solve? You must have an answer to that question. And number 3, what change will you help them achieve? Notice question number 2 and number 3 are not the same thing. So for example, when I start putting out content with basketball and then I start selling products, I can answer these 3 questions. Number 1, who do I want to help? Up and coming basketball players who are working on their game, they're developing skills and they want to get to a higher level in basketball. That's who I want to help. Number 2, how do I want to help them? I'm going to give them the programs and the training, the same stuff that I used to go from sitting at the end of the bench in high school to walking on and making a college team to playing professional basketball. I'm going to help them do the same thing that I did. I'm going to take all the trial and error that I had to go through, and I'm going to just give them the good stuff so that they can do it on their own. They don't have to mess up all the times that I mess up. That's how I'm going to help them. Now, the third question is, what change will I help them achieve? I'm going to take those players who might think that they don't have a chance to make it in basketball because they don't have anyone taking them under their wing, and I'm going to be the person who takes them under my wing digitally, virtually, and I'm going to show them how to work on their games and take their game where they need to take it. Now, I don't know if there's anybody watching this who ever watched any of my basketball stuff from years back, but I think I succeeded in answering those 3 questions, and I followed through and I produced tangible results from doing that. And I'm not telling you that to impress you, but to impress upon you, you need to answer those 3 questions. Let me tell you the questions again so you can write them down. It's who, how, and what. Who do you want to help? How are you going to help them? And what is the change that you will help them achieve? This is the one that a lot of people get stuck up on. All right, caught up on. Let's say that, caught up. What is the change you will help people achieve? Where are they now, and where are you going to take them? If you can't answer that question yet, then you're not ready to put yourself out there, because that's the question that your consumers are asking. Like, what are you going to do to help me? How are you going to help me get to where I want to go? You understand that? This book right here, every product that I make, I'm answering those 3 questions. So this book, for example, who do I want to help? I want to help the people who understand either one of 3 things. Either they have game and it hasn't showed yet, they don't have game, they need to get some, or they have game and they've shown it, but they don't feel like they're getting attention. Those are the 3 different types of people I want to help with this book. How am I going to help them? I'm going to show them right here how to use the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. Take the mindset of a pro athlete, that's me, and use it in your game. You don't even have to play sports. You can use this in your own life. That's what you're going to get in this book. And what change will I help them achieve? Well, the change that I'm going to help you achieve is right here in the table of contents. Cardio for your mind. Everybody knows what cardio is. The 3rd day, teach you the discipline. Super you. Bring your confidence up. Eliminate self-consciousness. Get rid of the things that you're afraid of, addressing your fears, building your mental toughness, giving you personal initiative. You become a go-getter. Learn how to sell yourself. Work on your interpersonal game. Get mentorship. Find people who are just better than you who can help you get to where you want to go. Eliminate all the bad mental errors that you've been making, and make sure that you're not living your life by the book. Just because I wrote a book doesn't mean everything you do in life needs to follow what I said in this book. You need to take what I said, apply it to who you are, learn how to think, and then use this material as necessary, and then not use it as not necessary. That's what I'm going to do with this book. I answered all 3 questions. You must do that with everything you put out. I don't care if it's free. I don't care if it's paid. I don't care if it costs $1 million or you're giving it out for free. You must answer those 3 questions. Again, who, how, and what. These questions are imperative, and they are better than merely choosing an area of expertise. Because some people, and I actually used to tell people the wrong thing. I came up with a better process for people. I used to say, well, what's your area of expertise? What area are you going to help people with? Or what's your area where you know things? Like, for example, a basketball trainer might say, well, my area of expertise is basketball. I'm a basketball trainer. That is too vague. The problem is there are 1,000 basketball trainers just in your city alone. So you can't stand out just saying I'm a basketball trainer, or I'm an expert on confidence, or I teach people how to fix computers. That's not really an area of, that's an area of expertise, but it's not descriptive enough. It's not detailed enough. If you answer the 3 questions, who do I want to help? Now you know exactly who your target audience is. How do I want to help them? Now you know what their problems are, or you're identifying their problems. So when you say that, the person who has that problem is going to be like, oh, yo, that's me. I say, I'm going to take players who feel like they're good enough to play professional basketball, who haven't yet gotten their opportunity. This book is going to help them. All right, you notice that? When I say that, who am I talking to? One type of person. The player who wants to play professional basketball, but they haven't played yet. And they're like, oh, that's me. What you got? Now I have their attention. Notice that? And then what are you going to help them do? Now I got to tell them what they're going to get. Because before they do anything to get this book, even if I was giving this out for free and they didn't have to do anything, and all they got to do is raise their hand to get it for free, I got to get them to raise their hand. I'm going to tell them what they're going to get. Because nobody does something for nothing, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say does something, look, people won't even follow you on Instagram for nothing. If people following you, it's for a reason. There's something that they're expecting to get. That's why when I do these lives, I put the title right there in the description. I'm telling you what you're going to get. The only reason you're listening because you're expecting to get something. Not because you like me, not because you're trying to be nice, not because you're trying to support. You're doing this because it's something you're going to get. If you want to sell on the internet or anywhere in the world, you got to let people know what they're going to get. It is not about you. It is about them. Who, how, and what. You must answer those questions. Point number 3. For those who came in the middle, the topic today is how to make a living online. I got a lot of material that I'm going to go through here. How many points? It was actually not that much, but I want to make sure I get to answer everybody's questions. Point number 3. Now that you've done that, you know who you want to serve. You're clear that this is really your job. Number 3, you got to get yourself seen. You got to get some attention. You don't want to be the superstar that nobody knows. You don't want to be great, but you can't reach your target audience. Whoever your target audience is, you got to be seen by them. So I want to make sure I'm being clear here. You do not have to get 1 million followers or even 100,000 followers. Listen, you ain't even got to have 20,000 followers. All you got to do is be seen, heard, and known by the right people. That question I asked you in point number 2, who do you want to help? Those are the people that need to know about you. It's not everybody. You don't need everybody to know you. You need the right people to know you. It might only be 500 people in the world who can buy what you're selling, who you're actually trying to help. So you don't need 5,000 people on your email list. You need those 500 people. And this is a very important distinction these days, especially because we have so many influencers and people who think it's like a status symbol to get the verified check or to have an X number of likes on your Facebook page or how many people on your list or whatever. It's not about having everybody following you and everybody knowing you. It's about having the right people know you. See, if I'm making a book that says I'm making this book for people who want to play basketball overseas, if you're not trying to play basketball overseas, it's cool if you want to listen, but I'm not talking. It's not for you. I want to talk to people who want to play ball overseas. If it's only 700 of those people, I don't need 800 people in the room. I need those 700 people in the room. If I'm trying to sell my product to, there's only 10 people in the world who can buy it and who need it, I want to talk to 10 people, not 100, not 1,000, 10 people. So getting seen does not mean just get as famous as you can by anybody, by any means necessary. It means get seen by the people who are in that who, how, and what question. When you find a specific person that answers all 3 of those, who, how, and what, that's the people you need to target. A great way to do this these days, you hear people talking about Facebook ads. Facebook is a great way to do that because you can target people very specific and you can start to figure out your market. But there's another way you can do it also I'll talk about that here in point number 3. Now, the internet is so big. How are you going to reach that target group? As I just mentioned, one way of doing it is advertising. You got to, first of all, find out where these people are. So if you're trying to get seen if you're a doctor and you're trying to reach other doctors, you probably don't want to get on Instagram because doctors don't just hang out scrolling through Instagram. Where are they at? They probably reading medical journals. They probably going to doctor conferences that most of y'all have never heard of. That's where you got to be though. If you're trying to reach doctors, you got to go to where the doctors are at. If you want to play ball, you got to go where the ball players are at. Or you're trying to reach ball players. If you're trying to reach the authors, they might not all be on Instagram. They might be on like blogs or Medium or LinkedIn because there's more written content than visual stuff. If you're trying to be a model or a photographer, then maybe Instagram is the place to be. If you're trying to be a comedian, you might want to go on YouTube or wherever comedians hang out. I don't know. I'm not a comedian. But if you are, you need to know where they hang out. You need to go find out. And you can read my chapter on mentorship in this book, and I'll tell you how to find those people. But you need to figure out where your target audience is at, and that's where you need to be at. You don't need to be where everybody is at. You need to be where your target audience is at. You got to find out where they are, then you got to get their attention. So now I know where they're at. Let's say I want to sell my basketball programs. I know where the basketball players are at. They're on YouTube watching basketball videos. Now, how do I get their attention? I know that they're there they are, but how do I get them to stop watching those dudes and start paying attention to me? That's a question that you have to answer. One way is you can get on other people's shows. So if you hear me on somebody else's video show or radio show or somebody's podcast, or I do a keynote gig, or I give a TED talk, or I do these lives right here. These are all ways that I can get in front of other people's audiences. This is not my audience. This is Instagram. You know who owns Instagram? Facebook. Who owns Facebook? Zuckerberg. All right, this is Zuckerberg's audience. This is not my audience. My audience is my contact list, my email list. That's the only audience I own. I don't own anything on Instagram. I don't own anything on Facebook. This is all Mark Zuckerberg's audience. You know how? You know why? Because you got to pay him if you want more people to see your stuff. If you want more people to see your Facebook post, you got to pay Facebook. So if it was yours, you wouldn't be paying for it. Now, if it was yours, you wouldn't have to pay to talk to your own people. If you got to pay, that's because you don't own it. All right, so just want to make sure everybody understands that. You got to find out where those people are, get on other people's shows, get on other people's channels. You can run advertisements, and the free way you can do it is create content. Now, I like content, and I usually tell people when they're starting out, create content simply because putting out content is free. It doesn't cost you any money to put content out. You can find your voice. You can get better over time. And you literally have nothing to lose just putting out content. You got to put the time in. That's the only investment you have to make with content. You got to put the time in. You got to have some knowledge. You got to have something worth sharing that people actually want to read or watch or listen to. If you don't have that, then your content is going to fall on deaf ears and you're not going to get any response. And with content, you must continue to put it out continuously. When I was putting out content online, listen, I just told y'all, I put more content on the internet than any human being you can name. You can't name one person who's put more content on the internet than me. That's why I'm qualified to talk on this subject. So I started blogging in 05, started YouTube in 06. I started a podcast in 2016. It's come out every single day since. That's how I got 1,500 episodes. Just do the math. This is how. Putting out free stuff. Then you get to find out, what do people like? What are people responding to? All right, they responded to that one. Nobody really responded to that. All right, they don't care about that topic. All right, this topic, everybody's commenting. All right, let me talk about that a little bit more. Let me go deeper on that. Somebody left a comment and asked this question. All right, let me make a video about that. Somebody asked about this. 20 people asked me the same question. I might want to write a book about that. This is how you get your ideas. So this is how I get mine. Listening to people. I did this topic here today because somebody left a comment on my Instagram this morning, and I said, all right, I'm going to do a live on it tonight. This is how I get my ideas. Paying attention, listening to your audience, engaging with your audience, finding out what people actually want. And sometimes you got to experiment. Some days I'll do a live. I don't know if people are going to respond to the topic, but I'll see. I'll see if I have any questions, if people are engaging, and people are like, yo, that's useful. Thanks for sharing that. Or people have inquiries about it. People think they have information, but that's wrong. All of that is letting me know. I'm taking notes mentally. All right, people responded to that one. I need to talk about that a little bit more. I might want to put that as a chapter in my next book. This is the way that I think. But this is because I got the experience. Understand, I've been doing this every damn day for 15 years. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. I'm not saying that to impress you, but you can do it too. Nothing stopping you. Anybody can do it. This lane is wide open. Anybody can blog. Anybody can put videos on YouTube. Anybody can do Instagram. Anybody can post on Facebook. It's free. Anybody can do it. You just got to put that time in. And you got to have some value to share. Because if you ain't talking about nothing, people ain't going to keep listening to you. Point number 4. This is the last point. Today's topic is how to make a living online. Number 4, you got to notice how all of this is necessary. Everything I've talked about so far. What we talked about so far is, first of all, you got to understand that this is a job. I talked about the online space being huge. You got to figure out who you're targeting. Then you got to get yourself seen. Now we on point number 4. I haven't said anything about money yet. Anybody notice that? I'm all the way to point number 4. I done gave y'all 30 minutes of this, how to make a living online. I haven't said a single thing about money. And I want y'all to, if you're smart enough to read between the lines of that, why I haven't even mentioned money yet. When I talk about being a pro athlete, I don't just talk about how much money you're going to make. I talk about all the other stuff that goes into it. When I talk about writing books, I don't talk about how much money you make off a book. I talk about all the other stuff that goes into it. That's why this whole philosophy is called work on your game. Because if all it was just collecting the money, then people like me would not be necessary. I wouldn't need to talk about this stuff. You could just show up and collect the check and it'd be easy. Now, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So now let's finally talk about the money. That's what making a living means, right? Well, here's where your content helps. When you're putting out content and that content is reaching the right people, here's the key. They will tell you and they will ask you exactly how you can help them further. For example, I'm going to give you the same example that I already used. I was putting out all these free basketball videos on YouTube from like 2006 through 2010. Then one day somebody said, Dre, how about you take the workouts that you do yourself and then you just write them down and you just organize them. He didn't say organize them, just write them down so that that's the people watching the video, we could follow it and we could practice the same way you practice. And I said, you know what, that's a good idea. But if I'm doing that, I'm giving you some value. I'm helping you step your game up. So listen, I'm going to make that into a product and you're going to have to pay for it. And people said, we'll pay for it, just as long as it don't cost too much, because these are young kids. They might not have that much money. I said, all right, cool. My first product cost $4.99, and people bought it. I said, boom. That's all I got to do. All I got to do is put out content, help people with it, find out what their questions are, find out how I can help them. What's the next thing I can help them do? Now I helped you with this part. What's the next step? I helped you with that. What's the next step? I helped you with this. What's the next thing you got to do? All I got to do is put out the free stuff, see what people respond to. Then I got to ask myself, what's the next thing they're going to need after that? Then I can make a product and I can sell it to them. And they know that I'm good because I already gave them some free stuff to help them out. That's all you got to do. Listen, I just gave you a whole business plan right there. So I hope you were listening. I'm not even going to say it again. I might say it when I recap this. Understand, this is all you have to do. When you're putting out content that is quality and you're helping people out, it don't have to be a lot of people. If you're helping the right people out, those people through their questions, they will tell you what they need help with. They'll tell you what's the next thing they need. That will tell you what your next piece of content needs to be. That'll tell you what your next email needs to be. That'll tell you what your next product needs to be. And it'll tell you how to sell it to them. Because all you got to do is spit their words back at them. You said you wanted to learn how to work on your dribbling, right? Well, here's the program. It costs $4.99. You can buy it right here. They'll buy it. Oh, you said you wanted to get a six-pack for the summer, right? So the girls can like you when you go on the beach. Here's my six-pack program. You can get it right here. It's $10. Go get it right there. Oh, you said you wanted to learn how to have the mindset of a pro athlete, even though you're not an athlete, but you want to use it in your office, right? All right, I just wrote a book about it. It's $25. You can get it at this link right here. Go get it. They'll buy it. If you are giving them value up front. This is a thing that I want y'all to understand. On the internet, being that there are so many of us, me, you, everybody out there, putting stuff out, doing live streams, webinars, writing emails, putting out content. There's so many people out there doing this stuff. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of them, and you might be one of them too. Here's the thing. The consumer, they have a lot of options. Right? Consumer, nobody has to buy. If you want to get something about confidence, I'm not the only person who made it. If you want to read a book, I'm not the only person who writes books. Or if you want to learn about working on your basketball game, there's 10,000 trainers on Instagram. How do you choose one? How do you know which one to choose? And if you're a salesperson, how do you get somebody to choose you when there's 100 other people doing the same thing you do? At least ostensibly, it sounds like they're doing the same thing you do. How do you make yourself stand out? How do you make the consumer buy from you instead of buying from everybody else? You build your trust and you build a relationship through giving them so much value before you ask for anything. Now, this is something that any of you followed Gary Vee. He wrote a whole book about this. He called it Jab, 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 Right Hook. And the whole point is give value, give value, give value before you ask for anything. If you just keep giving value, you won't even have to ask people to do anything. All you got to do is let them know you got it and they'll buy it. Not because some people will buy from you because, look, if I put out a whole bunch of free stuff, right, free content, every now and then somebody will come to me. I get these emails and messages. They'll be like, Dre, man, you put out so much great value. Is there a way I could give you a donation or a way I could just show my appreciation? And I don't even want to buy now. I just want to show my appreciation. I get those every now and then. You're going to get some people like that. But I want you to understand this as well. Because we're talking about business here where there's an exchange. I give you something, you give me something right there on the spot. And those people who give donations, I appreciate them because they feel like they got so much value just from the free stuff that they want to share. But understand this. If you got stuff to sell, let's say you wrote a book, and you want to sell your book, or you got a course, or whatever you're selling. If you give enough value over a consistent period of time for free, no charge, and then you do have something to sell, you won't have to sell it hard. You won't have to give a hard sell. All you got to do is let people know you got it. That's all you got to do is just tell them about it. Yo, I got this. Just in case y'all forgot, I got this course. Just in case you didn't remember, I wrote this book. Oh yeah, let me tell y'all one more time about this webinar that I got that is a paid webinar. Let me tell you about this retreat that I'm doing. Let me tell you about this mastermind group that I got going on. Let me tell you about this membership. All you got to do is tell them. You ain't got to push them. You ain't got to browbeat them. You ain't got to keep screaming it in their face. All you got to do is let them know you got it, and people will buy it because they already know you're good. They already know you're good because you've been giving out all this content every single day. If I put out a course or a book or a membership right now, several of you who've been watching these lives all the time, you know it's good. Now, you might have to wonder if you got the money for it, depending on how much it costs. You might have to think about that. But you're not questioning, like, is it good or not? You're not questioning, is it worth the money? Because you already know it's worth the money because I'm giving it to you every single day. The stuff that I put out, I'm going to tell you something I heard another guy say and I stole it from him. So I'm going to take credit for it because I gave him credit the first time. Now I'm keeping it. Is when I put out free stuff, I'm talking about a blog post, an email, this live stream, a YouTube video, anything I put out, a podcast episode, anything I put out for free, I want my free stuff to be better than most people paid stuff. That's my aim. So if people ask me, yo, Dre, how you keep coming up with content, or how do you stay consistent, or how do you seem to give a damn about the stuff you're putting out, even when you're putting it out for free? I'm telling you right here, here's what it is. I want my free stuff to be better than other people's paid stuff. So if I see somebody talking about playing ball overseas in a blog, I'm going to read that blog and I'm going to say, or I'm going to see them, they made a course or they try to sell a book. I'm going to look at their book. I might not buy it. Maybe I will. Their course or their book. I'm going to look at what they're doing and what they're talking about. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to make something for free that's better than the stuff they're charging for. And I'm going to put them out of business because if that's the stuff they're charging for and my free stuff's better than them, how are they going to sell anything? Impossible. Now I put them out of business. And then you can do the same thing. Understand that nothing that I'm saying here is proprietary. I'm giving you the game. You can do the same thing in your area. But first of all, you got to find something that you care about enough that you're willing to even go that far. You got to find something that you know well enough that you know exactly who you want to help, you know exactly how you want to and how you can help them, and exactly what change you want to help them achieve. You got to be able to do that, because saying it is one thing and being able to deliver is another. When I figured out who my audience was at different points in my career, I knew I was able to deliver on the thing I said I wanted to do. Like if I wanted to help people fix Ferraris, I might be able to say it, but can I do it? No, because I have no idea what I'm doing when I get under the hood of that car. So you got to be able to do the thing. But this is a key tip right here, and I'm going to say it one more time. This is the third time I'm going to say it. Pay attention. When you figure out your area of expertise and who you want to help, how you want to help, what you want to help them do, aim to make your free stuff better than everybody else's paid stuff. See, if my live stream is better than your paid webinar, you can't compete with me. If my free book is better than your whole $800 course, then we ain't no competition. If my YouTube videos is better than your 3-day clinic, then you are not my competition. You ain't got nothing on me. The game's over. I've eliminated you, and I'm on a whole different level. You could do this with any area that you want to get involved in, but you got to have the knowledge, you got to have the experience, you got to have the passion, you got to have the energy behind it that you actually want to give people value. And when you do that, everybody's coming to you. You become the guy. Everybody got to come to you. I don't make basketball videos anymore, but when I was, from 2006 through 2012, 13, you wasn't going to nobody else for a basketball video on the internet. You ain't had no choice but to come to me, because if you looked up basketball on YouTube, you ain't had no choice but to see me. That's just a fact. I don't know if I was the best basketball player in the world, but because my free stuff was better than anybody else's stuff, then it just became so many people, and I stopped playing ball and I moved on to other things. So who knows what's going on out there now? But y'all get the point of what I'm saying. You need to take that and apply it to whatever you're going to do if you want to make a living online. So hopefully I've given y'all enough information about how you're going to make. One more thing about this point number 4. Once you get an audience, right, and you got people following you and reading you and subscribing to you and all that, and you really want to find out what they need, you're not quite sure that how, and what, you're not quite sure the answers to these questions, because I didn't come up with these answers just out of the blue. I got these answers because I read all my comments, I read all my emails, I respond to DMs, I have back and forth conversations with people. So I've talked to thousands of people over the years about their needs, their desires, their problems. So when I make something, I know exactly what they need because I'm always interacting. So what you would need to do is either you can start responding to your comments and reading your DMs and talking to your audience and talking to your fans and people who follow you. They'll tell you what they need just through their questions and through the challenges that they have that they bring to you because they think you can help. You need to take notes of these. Take note of what they're saying to you because they're telling you exactly how they need to be helped. They might not be able to word it the right way, but you can word it by paying attention and just listen to everybody in aggregate. And the second thing is, what you can do, once you start to have an audience, you can say, look, you can pick out a couple people in your audience, people who always respond to your stuff, people who are always in the comments, and you can send them a message and say, yo, I just want to interview you for like 20 minutes because I want to ask you some questions about a program that I might be putting together. They'll gladly get on the phone with you because they're a fan of you. They following your stuff. They're watching your stuff every day. They're reading all your articles. They follow you on Facebook. They'll gladly talk to you. They'll be happy to talk to you. All you got, and then you just write down some questions that you want to ask. Ask the same questions of everybody. Write down everybody's answers. Record the conversation. And then just listen to every of them. Write down all the answers. Then look at all the answers you got out of 100 people. Interview 100 people. And write down all the answers. By then, you'll know exactly what you need to do because you're going to see the same question, the same responses coming up over and over again. The same problems, the same backgrounds, the same needs, the same frustrations. And that's going to tell you exactly what needs to go in your next product, your next book, your next 20 pieces of content. They're going to tell you exactly what it is. All you got to do is pay attention. All that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I've just given you the entire game on how to make a living online. One way to make a living online if you want to get into this thought leadership space. So I'm going to recap these points, tell you about these 2 free books I got in front of me. Then I'm going to take questions and make sure we don't run out of time. We got 15 minutes to finish all of this. So these 4 points again today, how to make a living online. This again is for the thought leadership space. This is one way to make a living online. This is not the only way. This is one way to do it. If you want to make a living off your intellectual property, that means the knowledge that is in your head. That's what we call intellectual property. Point number 1, first thing you got to understand, this is still a job. It's not all fun and games just because it's the internet. You got all these distractions. You don't have a boss. There's nobody holding you accountable. You got to do all that yourself. Malcolm X said every organization must have a boss. If you're the only person in the organization, you got to be the boss. It's the hardest part of being online because there's so many distractions. There's no time clock. You got to do all that for yourself. Do you have the discipline? Point number 2. Online space is a wide ocean. Where are you going to swim? You got to answer 3 questions. Who do I want to help? How do I want to help them? What change will I help them achieve? When you can answer those 3 questions, you know exactly who you're targeting and exactly how you're going to help them. Point number 3, get yourself seen. The internet is a big space, so how are you going to reach your target group? You got to find out where they are, first of all. Then you got to get their attention. You can go on other people's shows, get on other people's channels. You can run advertisements. What I suggest you start with is creating content. Because content is free. All it costs you is your intellectual property, which is endless, and the sweat equity of creating content. Videos, articles, podcasts. You don't have to do all of them. You can pick one and just dominate that one. You don't have to be on all the platforms. You can pick one and dominate that one. But you got to be out there consistently so people see you. Content is 100% free. It's an easy way for your audience to sample your work and know that you're good before they spend $1 on you. Point number 4. Notice how all this is necessary. Everything I talked about, and before I even talk about money. Money's the last thing we talk about here, but we are going to talk about it. Here's where your content helps. When you're putting out content consistently, your audience will already know that you're good. People will gravitate to you, the right people. You can talk to the people in your audience. They'll tell you exactly what they need. And when you finally put out something to sell, your audience already trusts you. They already know you. They already like you. They already know that you're good. So it'll be easy for you to sell your product. Not necessarily easy, but easier than if nobody knew you. It's a lot harder to sell a product to an audience that has never heard of you than it is to sell a product to people who listen to your stuff every day. Somebody's watching your YouTube video 3 times a week for a year. Do you think they'll buy your book for $20? I think so. I mean, just think about that. That's because you're giving value consistently every single day and helping them out, and they know you, they trust you, they feel like they know you and never even met you in person. That's the kind of connection you can create if you're on the internet consistently putting out value, helping people out. And here's your aim. Make your free stuff better than everybody else's paid stuff. If you do that, you ain't gonna have no competition. You just need to figure out who your audience is, and the stuff you put out free need to be better than everything everybody else has for sale. Everybody's going to be coming to you. You will own the category. If you really want to get to your highest level in your area, own the category to the point that anybody who brings up that topic, they got to mention your name. And they talking about your free stuff. That's not even the stuff that they pay for. That is how it goes. Now, let me tell you about these 2 books, and I'm answering every question in the comment section. You got a question, go ahead and post it right now. These 2 books are free right now. So speaking of free stuff, both of these books are free. All you do is take care of the shipping. You take care of the shipping. I'm sending you these books worldwide. Does not matter where you live. This book right here is Mirror Motivation, Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. This is the starter book for anybody who wants to learn about how I teach mindset. Get this one free. This is the book to help you be who you truly need to be so you can do what you need to do and have what you want to have in life, which means you'll separate yourself from 99% of people in this world, which means you will actually be fulfilling your destiny. If you want to fulfill your destiny, get this book free at mirrorofmotivation.com. mirrorofmotivation.com. Mirror Motivation. This book right here is the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This book is for a specific audience. Anybody who wants to play professional basketball overseas. If you don't want to play ball overseas, this one's not for you. You just stick to this one right here. But if you want to play ball overseas, you can get this one and this one at balloverseas.com. I came from a D3 school where I walked on. I finished school with no connections, no agent, no prospects. I had no way of knowing how to get overseas. I made it happen. I wrote this book to show you how to make it happen. Even if you went to a small school, you didn't play in school, nobody ever told you can make it, you're beginning to doubt yourself. You might be 30 years old. You want to take a chance before your time is up. Go to balloverseas.com. This is a 237-page book. Tell you everything you need to know to play basketball overseas now. Not yesterday, now. Balloverseas.com for this one. Now, I'm going to answer every question in the comment section. So anybody got a question, go ahead and post it. I hope y'all got value out of this, man. There's a lot of game that I dropped here today. I hope whoever person who asked the question, I hope he catches this whenever he catches it. Corey, what's going on? Scotty Cash 03, what's good? Coach Kev from Jersey, what's going on? Hey, he got game. Says folks don't realize it's a grind doing this every day. That you're in trouble if you go a day without making money. Yeah, that's how it could be, depending on what you're doing. It's absolutely right. Let's see. Hey, he got game. Says I always appreciate that free game for real. You're welcome. That's what I do. If I give enough free game, it helps you too. The creators out there. You help yourself when you're putting out free value because you learn your voice, you learn what people respond to, you learn what is valuable to other people, what they actually need, what they don't respond to, and that's giving you feedback. Brandon Joseph said, that's right, because this chick on Snap complained about her cramps, so I referred her to my mom's business site. She's going to buy the product. Oh, that's what's up. You were paying attention. That's good stuff. Coach Kev says, the hardest part for me is understanding it's a marathon, not a sprint, staying focused to the grind of the early stages. Absolutely. But at the same time, Pay attention to what people are responding to. That's the thing that people need to. Anyone who's creating online, you got to pay attention to what your audience is responding to. So what you're getting, you look at all your content and see what's got the most likes or the most comments or get the most replies or the most views or whatever. And ask yourself, what about that is getting people to respond, and try to figure out how you can take the elements from that one that's real popular and make more that's like that, because that's what people want. Your audience will tell you exactly what they want, and they'll tell you what they don't want. When they're not responding to you, they're giving you a loud and clear message. A lot of creators don't listen because they just so caught up in their own voice. But you got to listen to your audience. They're telling you what they want. As long as you got the right audience. If you're talking to the wrong people, then you're getting bad information. Brandon said, I'm about to join the business, have my own site. That's what's up. C-Lord G1, what's going on? He got game. Said, I remember looking for drills and you had the most results in the search. Oh, yeah, that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. ASAP J-Dub, Jarvis checking in from Naperville, Illinois. Shout out to Naperville. Shout out to Anthony Parker. ASAP said, I've been watching you for damn near 15 years. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that. I'm glad you're still around doing your thing. He got game. Said, how'd you go about getting your websites built? Man, well, I started my own website. My first website I was using a site called blogger.com. They might still exist. I'm not sure. They was like precursor to WordPress. Then I moved my site over to WordPress. Then I started using Shopify for one of my sales pages. I got more than one website, just in case people didn't know. I own about 40 domain names. So DreAllDay.com is, to this day, it was HTML, now it's on WordPress. HoopHandbook.com, I had that on Shopify. Shopify is like a e-commerce site. I took it off Shopify, now I use ClickFunnels. For all my sales funnels is ClickFunnels. So how did I get them designed? I've hired people to design. I've done some design myself. I've done a good amount of design myself. ClickFunnels is a drag and drop page builder, so anybody can use ClickFunnels. You don't have to be technical. A lot of them are like that now. Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, ClickFunnels, they all are set up to be very user friendly, so you don't have to be like a graphic designer or a web developer to use those. I'm not a web developer. Actually, I kind of am, but not by. I don't sell web developing services, but I know how to develop my own websites. So a lot of it I did myself. I've hired people. I've hired contractors to do stuff like that. So that's how I got them designed, to answer your question. But I happen to be the type of person, when it comes to the internet, I took to the internet. I'm a natural online, and I learn things very quickly. So what I'm saying I did doesn't mean you should do it. You might want to hire somebody. Yeah, how I get it made, you might want to hire somebody. Unless you can pick up on it quick, and you can look at somebody. I can look at somebody else's site that use the same platform that I'm using, and I can make an exact clone of everything they got on their webpage. That's just a skill of mine that I've developed over, as I said, 15 years of doing this. It's not an overnight thing. ASAP says, can you talk about how to sustain explosiveness towards the end of a season? I saw my bounce starting to deteriorate during March Madness before the pandemic ended our season. Yeah, I would suggest you get my Ultimate Athlete and Position of Power programs at hoophandbook.com. Both of those, ASAP J-Dub, those programs are made, those are specifically off-court training for basketball players. And that's exactly what you're asking about, having your body in the right shape so that you can sustain your power throughout the season. We made those programs, me and my trainer, her name is Maria. We made those programs specifically for basketball so that you can maintain your fitness. So we got all the programs for skills like shooting, dribbling, dunking. But what about your body? That's called Ultimate Athlete is one. The other one's called Position of Power. Ultimate Athlete is an athleticism program that you need no equipment. So right now, I don't know where you live, but a lot of places, the gym is closed. Like where I live right now, you can't go to the gym because they close all the gyms. There's a gym in the building. They close the gym in the building. So you can't go anywhere to lift weights or nothing. Ultimate Athlete, you can do it in your living room. You don't need any equipment, zero. I told Maria, make this program so that somebody can do it with no equipment. She said, what about some bands or some ball? I said, nothing. No equipment whatsoever. That's Ultimate Athlete. It's 15 weeks. It's in season and off season. ASAP J-Dub. The other one's called Position of Power. That one requires a gym, lifting weights, all the equipment that you have in the weight room. Position of Power is that one. That's a 10-week program, strength training, in season and off season in the same program. So that's hoophandbook.com, Ultimate Athlete and Position of Power. They're right there on the homepage. You'll see it. And you can get them both together in a bundle. Hopefully that answers your question. I mean, I know that answers your question. I Am Manor says, what does success is the best revenge mean to you? Or what does it mean to you? And what does it have to do with the topic? You got to ask me a question that's related to the topic. So anybody else got a question, go ahead and post it. We got 5 minutes before Instagram kicks us off this live. I'm going to tell y'all one more time about these books. Mirrorofmotivation.com. This book is already paid for. You just take care of the shipping. You get this book so that you can start separating yourself from the 99% of people on this planet. Most people on this planet don't have a purpose. They don't have a sense of direction. They're just drifting through life. You want to have a real purpose. You want to do what you were really meant to do with your life and be who you truly are supposed to be. Go to mirrormotivation.com, balloverseas.com. You want to play basketball overseas, even if you have no connections, even if you're from a small school, even if you have been overlooked your whole career, go to balloverseas.com. You get the overseas basketball blueprint. I got a question over on Facebook. Matthias says, if your free stuff is so good, how come you don't get more views? Well, I'm not selling views, Matthias. That's because you're asking the wrong question. You might not have been listening to everything that I was saying. I don't sell views. I sell products and services. So this is the exact point that I made in point number, what point number was that? Point number 2 and point number 3. It's not about having everybody see you. It's not about getting a whole bunch of views to everything that you put out. It's about getting views and being seen by the people who can buy your stuff. And sometimes the people who can buy your stuff might only be 1 or 2 people. Might only be 50 people. It might be 1 million people, but it might not. So it's not about having everybody see it. And another thing that you must remember about the internet is that a lot of people who will consume your free stuff are not going to buy anything. They're just freeloaders. Y'all heard of a freeloader? That's people who will take all your free stuff, but as soon as you sell something, you don't know where they at. They disappear. So you gotta be careful with the internet. Now, just because you got viewers on the internet does not mean you have customers. Having customers and having followers are not the same thing. Followers are free. Customers are paid. All right. So if you had a choice between customers and followers, which one do you want? Now, a lot of people these days would rather have followers because some people would rather be famous than. Pusha T got a song. Pusha T got a song called "More Famous Than Rich." A lot of people out here would rather be famous than being rich, but that ain't my business. Y'all gotta understand, it's not about followers and views. It's about customers and clients and sales. Those numbers don't show on somebody's Instagram profile. Keep that in mind whenever you're looking at somebody on the internet trying to tell you about business. Most of them won't tell you what I just told you. Go look them up. You'll see. D. Martin says, you're doing a great job. Appreciate you. Coach Kev says, keep up the great work. You motivated me to strive to become the best version of myself. That's what's up. Keep at it. Keep putting your stuff out, whatever you're putting out, and pay attention to what your audience is responding to. They'll tell you exactly what they want if you pay attention. Kevin Tarker was good, my man. He Got Game says, you ever considered being a skills trainer for basketball with all the workouts and program requests that you've gotten? Yeah, I considered it, and like 2 minutes later, I decided the answer was no. I never wanted to be a skills trainer for basketball, even though that would have been the easiest career path for me since I was already playing ball, because a lot of people was asking me, like you said, but I'm not passionate about being a basketball trainer. So if I became a trainer, I told people this 10 years ago, if I became a basketball trainer, I would only be doing it for the money. I'd be literally doing it just for the money. And if I was doing a job just for the money, I wouldn't be passionate about it, and I wouldn't be excited to show up to work every day. And I didn't want to do that. But what I do now, I'm excited to come to work every day. So that's why I do this. I didn't want to be a trainer, but I like creating stuff and being able to sell it. I can help a basketball player. I'm not trying to come to the gym and pass you the ball while you get up 500 shots. This is not my thing. There's some people out there that want to do that, so you go find them. If that's what you need. If you want the program to do it on your own, like I did, then you can get it from me. But everything ain't for everybody. But everybody can eat. All right. There's people who need a trainer. They can eat. People who want programs, they can eat. People want to read books, they can eat. Everybody can eat. You just got to figure out, get in where you fit in. That's what one of my college assistant coaches used to say. Get in where you fit in. Everything ain't for everybody. So everybody, Instagram's putting the timer on me, about to kick me off. So I'm going to tell you about these books one more time, then we're wrapping it up. Mirrormotivation.com, self-guide to self-discipline, so you can be the person that you truly want to be and need to be. Have the life that you really want to have from the inside out. Balloverseas.com. You want to play professional basketball, even if you have no connections, none of the agents are writing you back, no team is responding to your email, you don't know what to do, you're wondering if you'll ever get a chance to play ball overseas, go to balloverseas.com. Get this book. It's the blueprint. It's literally the blueprint for how to play basketball overseas. This will give you at least a baseline of everything you need to know. I provide the information, you provide the game, and you get yourself a career playing ball overseas. And just in case y'all didn't know, I do these lives every single day, 5:15 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing another one tomorrow. If anybody has a suggestion for what else to talk about in my live tomorrow, so I don't have to come up with the topic myself, hit me in the DM, tell me what suggestion you got, and I might just talk about it like I did this one today. So everybody have a great day. Stay safe. Keep your hands clean and work on your game. We out of here. Dre all day.